Mix it up with delicious lemnos, feta and halloumi. Tap for a range of recipe inspiration.
I do wish we got to see
Comes to the patch note and the meta itself.
stronger team.
Agree. And on the side of our last match of the days, or even last series of the day, we are focusing on Malaysia team. The only Malaysia teams here for the stream itself is JP9S. Yes, they have been having a little bit of difficulty on the first day itself. They lost to TL Academy Indonesia with 2-1. But then again, there was a spark of glimpse of fight spirit with getting that 1 point on the side of Kyo, right? I mean, he was the MVP. He managed to actually pull through to JP9S on the second match. But then as they made off with Alter Ego X, they actually, in my opinion, on the second match, there was a lot of mistake that was done to JP9S that Alter Ego X was able to actually punish them. And that's the reason why they were push into game number 3 to a point that they had to get best of 1. But at the end of it all, JP9ers pulled through and they still maintain here to 1-1 bracket. But meeting off with Team Valhalla, is it gonna be the same case? I mean, Valhalla meeting off with CFU Gaming. CFU Gaming, the community heroes, was able to be trampled by Valhalla. I talked about it with Moment. I mean, we were thinking like maybe it was a little bit of confusion, or maybe it was like CFU Gaming trying to try and error on the heroes itself, or even on the gameplay. But once Valhalla met with Rebellious Esports, it shows it wasn't just like a fault. It was like a fluke on the fight that Valhalla fought off with CFU Gaming. If they can put up a really good fight with Rebellious Esports, that shows that JP9ers, they gotta be careful for that last series of the day. But before we even get into the series, the first round or even the first match going to be Fnatic Onyx Philippine versus the RRQ Hoshi will be coming right after this short break. See you guys after this.
Seharusnya udah dari tadi guys ya, sekarang kita baru nonton kalau apa guys. Kita nonton dari awal. Gedean tuh. Oke. Mana coba?
By your opponents and then
Draft.
for the time, the crucial point right now, because really good potential. This even up for a while for the respawn wise. The resources that King Kong needs, that will be
Draftnya guys ya.
on the other side. We do see Onyx picking up Edith, also a really good coming in for the side of Fnatic Onyx PH, and they also have Vexana on the line. More AoE, much more control wise for the team of Fnatic Onyx PH right now.
Vexana's basically the only real mid option Onyx has left over since Loyi was banned out, and Aurora isn't actually very good at dealing with heroes like Cho and Xborg, so having that Terrified maybe handle the Hilda diving on top of you makes a bit more sense. And with the Edith setup, there's good damage potential overall on the side of Fnatic Onyx. RRQ Hoshi going to give Skylar his classic claw though, so they are leaning more into late.
Okay guys, welcome back my channel guys. Kita record dulu guys.
Oh, I do agree on that.
Okay guys, welcome back to my channel Valhalla. Dan di sini kita akan nonton RRQ versus Fnatic Onyx PH cuy.
Really good
Let's go,
response.
cuy.
It's just how they gonna be able to control all the aggression that will be
Langsung
put out
saja
by Fnatic
gamenya.
Versus Fnatic Onyx.
This is going to be a game to keep an eye on, ladies and gentlemen. As we know, the global series right around the corner. So establishing dominance here in the Snapdragon stage is going to set up that momentum you need for the rest of the year. And I think the drafts that we have here exactly suit the styles that Indonesia and Philippines are known for, with this side of Indonesia wanting to go for a little bit more of that early game and maybe set things up.
Okay guys, welcome back.
We know that they want to be able to
Sini
control that
RRQ versus PH guys ya, versus Fnatic Onyx PH cuy.
around their opponents.
Agree, definitely. All right, so far so smooth. A great cover coming in. I mean, we do see invasion coming in between Susujin as well as
Oke,
Skylar.
Kelra.
Skylar gonna be in the
Mati,
mid
mati.
right now.
Guys.
Almost close
Tidak mati
enough
guys ya.
to be tagged out, but with a dash, he still managed to survive it out. And we do see at least Brusco is on the light side.
Sini
Whenever it is,
Sutsujin
they're able to be
memakai
wiped out, but that was a
Xbox
really
Jungle
too
cuy.
close to tell.
Dan
But
Dairon
right now,
make
RRQ
Hilda.
Hoshi was able to be
Kalau
taken
dari draft
down.
ya guys ya.
Our one Kelra, but nevertheless, he'll still be able to hold his
Kalau
ground and
dari
get back
draft
away to
untuk
recall
late
his
game sih
Sujin, it's expected that he's going to be putting a little bit more attention towards the goal lane.
menurut gua kekuatan yang kanan sih.
Briscoe taking quite a lot of damage himself.
Oh, coming in, and now we do see the first fight coming
Baru
by
dibilang
Curry,
kekuatan
taking
yang
down
kanan
Darren
sih.
first. The attempts coming in from Darren try to shut down Fnatic. Onyx is not gonna be able to do so now. E-Dog and Vince gonna wait it out for Susujin to be actually hold it out. But this turtle is already in the hands of Kikon, and now they're going
Oke,
pushing
dapat
in for the
turtle,
Scream Star.
PH.
Kikon takes out E-Dog immediately with the Spirit of Alpha. Now pushing straight
Waduh,
away
bau-bau
to the
nih, cuy.
side of the one and only Susujin, but doesn't manage to put it. But that was already a good win.
Harusnya
with
draft
one
kanan
kill
tuh
on the side,
early-nya
as well as
bagus
the
ya.
turtle to be taken
Karena
into
ada
Iconic.
Chow Hilda dia.
It is very much
Kiri
expected
juga
that
bagus,
Fnatic
ada
should control the early
apa
game
ya.
with an Alpha, Edith, and
Late
Kata.
game kanan
It's
sih
a
gua.
lot easier for them to take control of objectives, and they just have generally more damage
Kalau late game
compared
kanan,
to
guys.
RRQ Hoshi. For RRQ, they gotta hold the early game and focus on giving as much farm to Rins and Skylar as possible, with the Claude being the more obvious. That's why you're going to see a little bit more ganking towards the gold lane to make sure that Claude wins out against the Harif, because usually Harif is the winner here in this 1v1 lane matchup.
Oh, that's totally agree. And here on out, we do see a 1v1 matchup coming in from Kurt as well as Durin. Airborne comes through, and now Kurt's trying to do it damage as much as he could. But I mean, you're talking about fighting off with Durin. I mean, a lot of the mobility-wise, a survival and sustainability coming in from him. It's not going to be easy. Attempts coming in from the side of Kurt himself, but he's still not giving up. But he's got to be careful. Along the side of RRQ is going to be Susujin is just overlooking, and it seems that King Kong gets the input as well, and they will deny it as well. Now, Rinse moving away as quickly as possible before being tagged out. At least the position is a good in favor coming in from RRQ, but they really gotta hold off for a while because the aggression and put out by Fnatic Onyx at the moment right now, it's really scary.
Yeah, I feel a little bit bad for Tyron because when you are on a Hilda, you're usually the one causing havoc and pressure on the map. But because Onyx just has so much early game damage and they're dealing with an alpha jungle, the Hilda cannot actually invade to try and disrupt King Kong. He just has to try and win out a lane priority, which is already kind of difficult against an Edith, so that they can roam and actually
Oke, jadi ini itemnya guys, item awal.
of the map.
Baru gue pengen lihat.
Unfortunately, Onyx not really being stopped by that.
Turtle guys, setup turtle. Oke, King Kong kena. Oh, ditahan cuy. King Kongnya ditahan sama Dairon guys ya. Gak ada damage cok, Scalar. Mati Brusco. Nice, nice. Nice. Kelra mati. Aman cuy.
Now that's what is needed coming in for the side of RRQ, but at the same time, this is gonna be tough for the side of Team Fnatic Onyx, as at least RRQ Hoshi gets the trade that they needed.
That is exactly
ini,
what
guys.
RRQ Hoshi is looking for, and actually a massive win, because up until now I have been mentioning that Fnatic Onyx should be stronger at this stage of the game. They just have more presence and damage overall, but extended the team fight a little bit too far, and RRQ beautifully managed their resources and positioning, playing around the healing being provided by the Revitalize along the fight, and then re-enter once Onyx had overextended in the mid lane. Because of that, Susujin now has a little bit of an EXP lead against King Kong, and RQ has even up the net worth difference. As long as they keep the gold even, and Skylar does not die, this game is
Dairon
going in their
mati.
favor.
Aman cuy.
Definitely, and a little bit stronger coming in from the side of Darren. This is where no matter how much you try to put out a potential to fight over Kurt, it's still not enough. And going into the side of Susujin, I agree on the note that now he's actually in a very good advantage. Hopefully RRQ Hoshi can be potentially to cover and control the movement that they are required right now to move into the mid game. And so far right now, we do see that Team Fnatic Onyx is gonna actually try to team up right at the top. Gonna actually try to give a lot of pressure to Skylar as well as Ido, but it will be denied instantly. Team RRQ Hoshi, really good grounding, really good coverage right now for both teams. It's really tie up for both of the teams right now.
Yeah, like we mentioned, gold lane going to get a lot of attention because if Onyx can unlock Kelra and have him start gaining gold from assists, it accelerates their snowball so much further while stopping Skylar. But RQ not letting that happen.
Oh, they're not letting it happen as well.
Turtle guys. Oke, Sutsujin dapat guys. Anjir.
Right now, they will be trying to go in for the scrimmage. Not done yet. Going in for the push to the side of Rinz. Rinz had to pull away with Sutsujin having so much damage to put out. They had to reposition, but it's a good move. Skylar almost
Darren.
Now Darren coming in for the backline.
Okay.
Down. This is Zaman
Nice.
coming through, and Rin takes down Killer immediately. Now pushing on straight. Darren doesn't have much damage, and they had to pull away. A really good win, but Super comes along with the trade, and King Kong shuts down Susujin immediately. They have even getting the turtle is a 2 trades coming in from the side of Fnatic Onyx, but Jiren, he seems like Kurt trying to get as much as kill as possible. He wants to go in for the push, but still, it was a good cause. They still managed to push away without any casualty, but the trade is still the same for Fnatic Onyx as well as Philippines.
Yeah, that trade initially looked incredible for RRQ Hoshi. Again, beautifully managing their positioning, but this time it was them who prolonged the fight a little bit too far and underestimated the DPS.
Skiller!
As a moment right now, we do see Batu Kaca coming in, but at the same time, it's not gonna pull anything with that Avatar Guardian. Team Fnatic Onyx will be able to pull away for those fight, even despite the fact that RRQ Hoshi was not been pulled in. But at the same time, RRQ Hoshi, great position, great respawn wise. So far, they know how to actually have a really good space.
Menangnya gimana ya guys? Lihat game sih kanan. Ada Xbox sama Cloud cuy.
Trade off between the two turrets from the
Lihat
top
bisa
as
nih
well as
RRQ.
here on out. Team RRQ Hoshi, at least on the cover ground of the map, is still in their hands.
Even though Onyx was able to get some good kills in that previous fight, remember the
kita push
as long as
running text dulu cuy.
keeps the gold somewhat even until the late game, they are actually in the lead. And the goal difference right now, very, very small. Only about 1,000 in favor of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. In comparison, RQ will scale way better, and they're gonna play for that timing.
Oh, they're gonna pay from starting Avatar Guardian coming in for the push.
Okay, lagi war.
Had to pull away, but so much damage coming in. But Scala takes out immediately and restarts.
And the goal difference right now, very, very small. Only about 1,000 in favor of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. In comparison, RQ will scale way better, and they're gonna play for that timing.
Iya.
Oh, they're gonna
Benar
pay
bang.
from starting
Gara-gara damage cuy. PH nggak ada damage. Anjing idok. Nice.
But Scala takes down
Menang, Cok.
immediately and restarts down Bruce.
Nah.
Kara been stuck in the middle.
Kara Gacorrrr guys. Mampus PH. Mati. Jangan cok. Iya, Riki. Rata cok. Segini doang PH. Meta Brawl cok.
Fnatic Onyx.
Meta Brawl dikalahkan oleh Meta Brawl cuy.
Around the Lord Pit. At this stage of the game, it's understandable. They still have control. They still have damage. But
Apakah menang guys ya guys?
Micro movements, and it has been very, very impressive the way that they're dodging Avatar the Guardian every single time, making use of iframes. And Edok as well, finding Super Prince in the backline and kicking him into the blazing duet, thereby funneling the entirety of Fnatic Onyx into a small area where Skylar can do the most damage. He also now has the most gold in the game. RQ, with a 2k net worth lead now at 10 minutes, are very poised to take this game if Onyx are not able to find an equalizer.
Now let's see. They're gonna go in straight to the bottom side. Doesn't spot anyone. It seems that Edo trying to find a way to actually go into the backline first of all, but at the same time will be denied by Super Friends, not allowing any extension coming in from
Let's go RRQ.
Lords is marching in. King Kong right at the front
Apakah
side.
RRQ akan juara MC cuy?
Will be at the backline. Doesn't spot anyone just yet, but they don't know who they want to go against. Overlooking straight.
Penantian RRQ selama ini akan dijawab guys di MC.
But they deny it. They're actually having a little bit of
Apakah ini saatnya
try to
sih?
pull in into the Fnatic
Apakah
Onyx,
skin
and
Cloud
this is
MC
why
itu real guys?
having a really good defense wise so far. And Team RRQ, they couldn't find the opening they needed. So at
Okay,
least on the side
okay.
of Fnatic Onyx, they still be able to neutralize all the lords and the wave that coming their way.
But they're not able to neutralize the gold advantage.
Agak aneh ya guys ya
RRQ is
kalau
now
PH
controlling the
kalah sama
entirety
Indo
of the
kayak
map.
gini aja cuy.
They have successfully taken every exterior tower from the side of Fnatic Onyx, leaving only the inhibitors
Apa yang bikin
behind.
kalah guys?
While Onyx
Apa yang
is
bikin
pretty
PH kalah
strong
sih?
as a 5-man death ball,
Kalau menurut
RRQ
gua sih si
Hoshi
Hildanya sih,
is designed
dia
to
tuh nahan
build
badan
and be
banget
able to
cuy.
split up the map and even play for pickoffs. So they're gonna continue doing so.
Reka-reka lah.
They can bait out individual members
Main
of
reka-reka
Fnatic
sih Kingkong.
Onyx. And if they're able to continue doing that, it's going to be quite difficult for our Filipino champions.
Let's see. King Kong trying to find a way to break to RRQ. So far,
Draftnya kalau draft sih kiri bisa menang cuy kalau di awal tadi nggak mati-mati mulu ya kaleranya sama Brusco kena Xbox guys. Xbox di sini tuh menjawab banget guys, menjawab draft kiri banget untuk di late game guys. Di mid game lah. Di late game-nya ada Skylar. Kanan tuh lengkap guys. Early ada Hilda, cow. Mid ada Prince, Khaled. Late game-nya ada dua, Skylar sama Tsujin cuy Xbox. Kalau kiri ini combo hero-nya guys, combo skill hero-nya bagus dia. Kalau buat late game sih ada susah sih kalau ngelawan Xbox kalau
RRQ Hoshi are taking care of that incredibly well.
Kalau mau menang tuh harus
on their own or have built-in escape mechanism so that
apain
they
ya
are
kalau
able
mau
to
menang?
push waves without needing to worry too much about
Harus
killing
bonus
tank.
Tsujinnya kali ya.
Kirk is the only really reliable form of CC.
Kalau bonus Skylar juga bakal susah guys kalau ada Tsujin.
And that is after being
kayaknya
purified.
kalau mau
Otherwise,
menang ya.
RRQ Hoshi just have so many ways of controlling team fights.
Buset. PH dia ayam-ayamin nih guys. Mati dong. PH dia ayam-ayamin cuy. Pas mati. Gila RRQ cuy. Buset. Apaan tuh? Astaga. Pinoy. Aduh mati dong. Enggak. Tsujin nggak mati. Enggak bakal mati. Mati dong. Enggak. Gue pengen lihat yang tadi cuy yang si kolodenya ngegas. Kan sini. Kingkong mati di sini. Enak banget cuy draft kiri cuy. Buset, menang. Ini. Bentar, kan ini mati. Kolodenya masuk cuy. Dalam tower. Ini sih gila ya. Lihat. Buset. Langsung purify mati Haritnya. Pikiran terlalu nafsu yes. Mati dong. Bloodline tuker XP sama Ruam cuy. Tapi di sini Kera menurut gua nggak main sih Haritnya sih. Harit kalau lawan Xbox tuh susah guys. Di midnya, di late game-nya juga susah sih. Harit ketemu Xbox tuh.
I really like the decision that was made by RRQ to just rush in and try to take out the remaining members so that they could end the game with the Lord. Unfortunately, they went a little bit too far, and Kirk was luckily able to survive with a tiny bit of HP, because if the Eden had gone down, RRQ would have definitely ended the game right there and then. With that though, that does give Onyx a little bit more breathing room, but they only have one inhibitor on very low HP to hold on to. Whatever happens, this next Lord must go into their hands, or RRQ should be able to quite easily whittle down the crystal.
PH kalau mau menang sih Nunggu RRQ blunder sih, nunggu scaler blunder guys. Scaler sama Sutsujin mati udah susah sih. Scaler atau Sutsujin. Scaler sih. Intinya di scaler sih. Scaler harus mati di sini. Kalau mau menang ya PH ya. Jadi sebelum Lord dia harus sudah culik scaler aja. Walaupun susah ya.
Just one more hit could have actually got that turret, but in the end, Fnatic still giving a lot of pressure, not allowing RRQ to even come in.
Yeah, Skylar tried to go in with the BMI for one last hit on the tower, but we have to remember, in the patch, they updated the tower so that they are just super tanky if you don't have minions nearby. In the past, a single hit would have actually taken that down, but that's no longer viable. Regardless though, I think RRQ are in a very, very comfortable position. Right now, Skylar going to be doing a lot of damage, and because there isn't enough ways for Fnatic Onyx to force out his Purify, he can actually position himself very aggressively without needing to be worried about being CC chained. He has 0 deaths so far, and the Lord is coming up. Fnatic Onyx need this, or they need to at least slow it down with only one tower standing. If RRQ pushes in with this and the
ini perang di lot nih guys. RRQ, yup, salah banget cow dia ngincer cow. Kelar dah. Anjay, pinter gitu. Hampir aja scaler. Pinoy.
Despite the fact Darren had to be sacrificed, but it's already
Pinoy. Ngilang tutup.
Get this first game in the hands of
Indonesia.
An unexpected result, but one that we
apakah ini the downfall of PH?
Both of these teams are very powerful contenders.
RRQ menang cuy.
To show how well they have adjusted after their respective performances in their MPL. RRQ Hoshi, while their lineup is a little weaker in the early game, they were so good at micromanaging dodges away from big cooldown abilities on the side of Fnatic Onyx, so that once that mid game came around, even though Onyx should be winning just from sheer damage alone, the way that RRQ were dancing in and out of the team fight was so clean. And Skylar, he is on that Claude. It's one of his signatures. If you don't stop him, this man just takes over the Land of Dawn.
Agree, definitely. And I like the fact how the overextension was done by INDO. He goes in for the Wazor, picked up King Kong, picked up either anyone on the side. Even we did saw how
MVP-nya Skylar cuy.
Even though nowadays Claude has fallen a little bit in usage compared to more popular picks like Natan and Harith, in the right hands it can still cause so much chaos. And this is, mind you, in a lane where he's supposed to be losing early to his counter matchup, Elra on the Harith. RRQ were very smart, putting extra attention onto his lane in particular because they knew that as long as he wasn't losing lane, he's already automatically winning it.
Agree, definitely. And this is where the second
langsung aja ke next game.
You
langsung
talked
ke
about
draftnya guys.
how
Coba
Joy
kita
right
bakal
now is already
draftnya
being
gimana
into
guys.
a popularized pool as well after the patch news.
Bentar. Sutsujin pakai Suyo Matilda Popeus. Bentar, ini resolusinya kok burik gitu ya. Paling tinggi nih. Suyo, Matilda, Popeus, Joe, Hilda, dan Hildanya bakal di XP. Ini udah pasti di RRQ kurang gold sama mid. Untuk PH-nya kurang dari gold sama roam sih harusnya. Atau gold sama XP. Kalau RRQ itu bakal ambil apa ya? Bruno ya.
As well, right? And I think pretty
Midnya
much
mungkin
Joy
bakal
is one
YV
heroes that
bagus
need to be
apa
watched out as well. And this is RRQ
YV
Hoshi.
nggak di
They
ban.
still have a map support that they need to be to be careful on coming into their choices at the moment right now. With ban ups right here, we do see that Farmis as well as Vexana been picked out to be taken out. Vectris also been shut down by the team of RRQ Hoshi on their side.
YV sih harus.
Yeah, Fnatic, I really like the way they're drafting right now. It is very respectful and also very smart. Getting rid of the Faramis because the Matilda Faramis combo can be very scary in the hands of a coordinated team, not to mention that Joy's damage is very burst based, so if NetherRealm eats all of it, they won't get to do too much. And the Vexana, which is one of the mages that can actually handle a Hilda or Joy jumping on them if they time the Terrify properly. Aurora, unfortunately, is not quite as easy to do with that. RRQ do decide to ban out Marksman instead, aiming for a lot of Kelra classics in the Beatrix and the carry, but we do still have things like the Claude and the Natan open.
Yeah, that's true though. So
Sama amat
doing
dah.
on the side of Fnatic Onyx, I mean, pretty much they
Si
don't really have much to worry because
goldnya
the pool is
Kelra
still
bahkan
open for them. A lot of the
ngambil
heroes that Carol can use, as well as the
Kari
fact
juga
that
nih.
I think there's a possibility that you can still pick up anyone to actually distinguish as, or even
Siapa ya?
have those individual
Bingung
fights
guys.
that is
Cloud
RRQ
sih bakal
will
diambil
try
sih.
to do will not be in the favor
Brody.
of them. But no, are you kidding me? You're picking up Brody? I mean, I know,
Brody
yes,
susah
Brody has
cowok.
been buffed
Ada Poveos.
this season or this patch note, but it's
Tuh
not
ngapa nge-lag itu
really,
anjir?
it was not really that much
Baca.
of the buff to be given out. The
Brody-nya nge-lag
adjustment is
guys.
not that much on the cooldown, but then again, I don't know, maybe Fnatic knows what we don't know now, Steffa?
Brody
Bakal
is
ngambil, dia
really
bakal ngambil mid dulu
interesting
sih.
because he is supposed to be picked up to win a lane, but due
YV
to a lot
nggak
of
sih
meta
harusnya?
over the last few patches, doesn't even match up to
YV,
heroes like
cok.
Natan, Harif, or
Tahu
Klik,
nok.
right? Or Bruno, for example. So people just don't really pick him up. He got buffed in the recent
YV,
patch to have
mana, cok?
slightly more physical attack growth, but that only helps him out towards the
Anjir.
late game. And in that
Salah
regard,
pick up
he
ya.
loses out to heroes like Natan,
Amat.
Claude, Beatrix, and so on. So I don't
Actually expecting on RRQ's side Hoshi to be shut down in the early stages, because that was what we saw on the early 2 minutes or even on the 4 minutes itself, because the fact is RRQ Hoshi, they try to actually put out a really good
buset.
fight, but Fnatic on it was the one who actually put out a really good aggression. But now finally this is round number
What
2, guys.
the-
I'm really sorry again on the RRQ side, but we are now going into round number 2, RRQ Hoshi,
What the
Indonesia versus Fnatic Onyx Philippines.
Ooh, and it looks like we've already missed a good
Astaga.
chunk of the action. Actually, we are nearly
Yeah.
8
Apa-apaan,
minutes
cok?
into the
Tiba-tiba
game.
menit
The kills
7
are
anjir.
currently 8-6 in favor of Fnatic. Looks like the Brody pick was
Settingan
actually
PH
for
guys.
real, and Kelra has been doing pretty good so
Anjir,
far.
tiba-tiba.
2-1-3 score.
Wah nggak bisa
And,
sih ini.
very close to taking out Edog there
Oh.
too.
Tiba-tiba RRQ kalah guys.
A little bit too aggression right now, but he had to pull away. But on the other side, we do
Oh iya,
see
masih ada
Edog
Aurora
trying
ya?
to insert himself. That's not gonna be a good
Ayo Darren,
extension, but
manis
Kurt
kamu.
will be immediately be punished by Darren on the side. We do see
Sujin.
Kelra had to pull away, but King Kong on the side will be
Buset
shut down.
dah.
Sujin immediately getting to
Buset.
space right now, and as we see, it seems like Sujin is not done. He wants to pull another
Iya,
player
Sujin,
of
guys.
RRQ, but on the
Improve
side
banget
of
sih dia.
Fnatic Onyx, unfortunately, Team Fnatic Onyx, they losing those 2
Sujin
players in the process of
improve banget.
trying to shut down RRQ. It's still not enough, but covering grounds on the map wise, look at this. We got 2 of the turrets already been taken out. Team RRQ looking better than
Udah sih
ever.
ini RRQ menang sih guys.
I do wish we got to see
Draft
exactly
kiri
what
tuh
are
kalau
the moments that led
early-nya
up to
bagus
this
tuh snowball
situation,
guys.
but looks like RRQ Hoshi has
Si
been
apa
able
namanya
to
si
reclaim a
Suyonya.
gold lead, and Suchijin getting another
Haritnya juga udah
award.
enak ini.
While the late game scaling
Kelra
between
kalau late
these
game
two
udah
is not
susah
as
sih.
drastically
Draft
different
kanan tuh
compared to player
terlalu
number 1
early
because
nggak
there
sih?
isn't something like a Claude to deal with.
Brody
I do
nya
think that RRQ
di late
still
game
has
susah
a
guys
slightly
Brody.
better late game because
Apalagi ada
Brody
Dairon.
doesn't scale quite as well, and with a Harif and Suyo, you actually have a lot of damage to deal with.
Oke
Agree,
guys,
definitely.
welcome
I
back
mean,
to
not
game
only
2
that,
ya
we
guys
got
ya.
Prince
Jadi kita lupa sambutan
using
karena
that
kita kaget
Aurora
tadi
as
tiba-tiba
well.
menit
So
7 cuy.
Team RRQ Hoshi, they're going
Dan
out
welcome
for
back.
the damage itself.
Di
Now
sini
pushing his way
adalah
forward,
game 2
immediately
dari
Darren
RRQ
trying to stop his
versus
way with the
Fnatic
power
Onyx
abilities,
PH
but
yang
didn't
dimana
manage to do
RRQ
so
akan
as
sangat
Kurt managed to
membantai
pull away. Now the
dari
Lord
seorang
will be
Pinoy di
marching
sini
into the
guys
lane
ya.
to clear out the last second turret in the mid.
Negara meta
So
brawl cuy.
far, RRQ looks to be in control of this game.
Gara-gara
Fnatic
dikatain
Onyx,
gitu
they do
cuy,
have
langsung
tools.
ngamuk gini RRQ.
Valentina and Joy actually do a surprising amount of DPS once
Apakah
they
RRQ
Valentina
akan
take those
juara
under their
NC
belt.
cuy?
But Suzujin just finished his BOD. So being able to
Apakah
control the fight is
EVOS
very,
akan
very
tergantikan
crucial.
guys?
Briscoe going to be the only real form of
Gue
setup
kaget
that
banget
Fnatic
sih
Onyx
RRQ
can
bisa
play
ngalahin
around
PH
for
kayak
that
gini sih.
Arlet. But if the timing is
Apa karena
incorrect,
bukan
Prince, who
perwakilannya
did
tuh
end up
bukan
going
itu ya AP
Aurora in
brand
the
ya?
end after Vexana got banned out, will be able to take
Sutsujin,
over the
Beon.
fight.
Oh, King Kong versus Suzujin going in for
Wah,
the slash, but doesn't manage to get the knocks that is needed. King Kong still survive it
kalau
out.
diterusin
Jungler
bisa
versus
menang
jungler, it
Sutsujin
does
sih.
seems in the favor of King Kong though,
Cooldownnya
because
lama.
Suzujin had so
Bisa
much damage,
menang
but
Kong
RRQ
juga dia
Hoshi
ada
with a
ulti.
really good
Enggak
call
ada
out
ulti sih tapi
respawn wise, that's
menang
the reason
Sutsujin
why King
harusnya.
Kong had to pull away before he's been ganged out. But at the same time, right here, another turret
Ada
to
ulti
be
sih namanya.
taken out on the second last tier. So that means
Tes
it's all out
tes.
to the last tier of Fnatic on it holding on to their turrets.
Looking at the goal leaderboard right
Maling
now,
cok.
Suzujin right at the very top with Skylar right behind him as
King
well.
Kong ngapain
King
guys?
Kong not quite at level 15, so there is an EXP disparity. We can see that the rotations from RRQ Hoshi
Oke,
are very,
war.
very controlled with this Matilda.
Oh,
Wes,
coming in straight away to
Deren
try
mati.
to go in for the
Waduh.
power over this,
Wah,
but
hampir.
doesn't manage to take it out. Now,
Nice,
Duran
nice.
had to pull away so much
Wah,
overextension,
dimanjain.
ended up
Nggak
having
bakal
here
berani
to
coy.
cause
Kalah
his
cok.
own
Kalau
half
dimanjain.
line. But at the same time, right here, Zaman Force
Duitnya kalah jauh
not
guys.
able to
Kalau
have
diwarin ya.
anyone to lock on. It's just so them to give them at least a slow down tempo
Oke,
coming into their
RRQ
own movement. But at the same
masih
time, right
memegang
here, Fnatic
kendali
on it,
cuy.
trying to find a way if they can actually
Apakah PH
pick
bakal
up anyone
nangis
from
guys malam
RRQ
ini
Hoshi.
guys. Orang-orang PH guys.
Yeah, looking at the itemization right now, Holy Crystal already completed on Skylar as well. This
Wait,
is where
wait,
Harif
Vince.
really starts hitting like a truck
Mati.
and continuing to invade the
Kelas.
jungle.
Oh, Psycho takes down
Kelas.
Super Prince as well. Great job coming in
Indo
with that
nih.
hailstorm. But at the same time, right here,
Tak kenapa menurut gue ya
FNOP
guys ya.
had to pull away.
Fnatic Onyx
Yeah,
PH
things
ini
are
beda
not
banget
looking
sama
too
AP
good for
Brand waktu
Fnatic Onyx Philippines
MSC
right
atau
now.
EWC
Nearly a
kemarin cuy.
5k disparity between them.
Dia mainnya
12
di
minutes
early tuh
in.
kayak
Prolific
kurang aja
Roar
gitu.
just completed on Sutsujin. And while they do have tools to maybe manage the
Kayak
CEO, they're having to spend a
berantakan,
lot of
rada
it
berantakan
dealing with just
daripada AP
Tyron and
Brand MSC
Skylar, both
kemarin
of which
guys.
have kind of get out of free jail cards because of that Matilda.
Tak kenapa
The
guys
way
ya.
that they're able to dance in and out of the
Mainnya
team
kayak
fights, while a little bit different
epos
from
gue.
game number 1, is showing some similarities. Really good micro play.
Main
That's
epos
how they're
guys.
keeping at the top against Fnatic right now.
Agree, definitely. And taking a look on RRQ Hoshi, doing
It's
a really good farm. They're looking over to the side of King
Kong
Kong.
Kong.
E-Dog is looking for a
Gak
way,
saya
but
cok.
they pull away instead to go in
Oh,
for that two-way because they are going
ngomong
to
aku
actually
ya.
prioritize on the
Bos.
wave as the Lotus already marching in. And seems like King Kong gets the input. He's going to actually recall back to join
Oke.
into the team fight.
2-0
We're seeing
kah?
him straight away on the top right now. Hailstorm comes through.
RR
Does
King
get a hit to Kurt's side, but it's not going to be enough. The turret is
calon
coming
juara
in
M6.
already. First of the trade from the mid lane
Ini
is
di
already
M6 kalau
being
kayak
taken
gini
out. But
gue
on the
bisa
side of
tebak
Kirk, he's looking for one person to
grand
try
finalnya
to
bakal
tag off.
tim
But it seems that
tim
RRQ will deny it. But
wes.
comes through, and it's gonna be Super Prince to be able to take
Nggak
down
bakal
Enough.
menang
First of
cuy.
all, overextension will be punished. But at this moment right now, we do see
Maksudnya
the
PH
side
tuh
comes
nggak
through
bakal
from the
bisa
side of RRQ,
ngebalikin gara-gara
being
gitu
able
doang
to
guys.
hold down that positioning. So much of the
Benar-benar
resources
susah
being put
cok
out
PH
here,
di sini
still not
draftnya.
enough.
Untuk late game.
There's very, very heavy pressure on Briscoe right now. That final slash is the only real way that Fnatic can really punish RRQ for being out of position. And that was one clear example of it. But they were only able to find 2. That's not quite enough yet. They're going to see what more they can take by pushing down mid.
Buset mati
Will
dong.
be picked up Summerall. He had to pull away straight away, but at the same time, right here, Fnatic Onyx will be able to take down Duran even with the at the same time, RRQ looking a little bit struggling right now, even though they were in the lead in the first place.
Yeah, that is the momentum that Onyx really, really needed. RRQ are still fine. They still have a 5k net worth lead. That's just a momentary stopgap in their advancement. But they cannot allow that to happen a second or third time. Briscoe's positioning keys needs to be paid attention to.
Guys. Suaranya kok kecil banget ya.
and they cannot group out right outside the base because that just sets up perfectly for a flicker final slash. Fnatic gonna use
Ada
this opportunity to
perlawanan
take
dari
as many
seorang
skirmishes as
PH
possible
ya guys
and
ya.
look to regain control over the map so that they can more easily contest the next neutral objective.
Agree, definitely. 30 seconds on the clock. Lord will be spawned out, and it seems that they're trying to actually push this wave to the side of Team
Nggak
RRQ
kelihatan ya
Hoshi.
anjir.
Let's see if it's gonna be in their
Baru
favor.
nyadar gue.
Spotted out Kirk in the
Bentar,
bushes.
bentar.
They will get the
Nggak kelihatan anjir. Bentar.
info they required, not gonna allow any invasion or the movement of Team Fnatic Onyx that easily. But we do see King Kong is already right at the top, and they might actually go in for this fight. Already stacking on the Lord, waiting.
Bentar. Orang ke atas anjir. Oke,
For the
lanjut.
time being.
Briscoe, if he can set up a final slash into King Kong and Kelra, that is the win condition that Onyx is looking for. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a big flashy play like that either. If they can continue picking off individual members of RRQ, maybe forcing out resources early, they can still take...
Bentar cuy. Sabar-sabar ini naikin dulu. Kelar-kelar itu tadi ya. 19 berarti 14. Berarti 15. Yuk. Nonton.
Take control of this game.
Oh, but they picked up, almost able to be taken out a little bit too.
Kayak kurang naik gitu guys. 15 7 ya. Coba
Break session coming in
from balik anjir. Ya.
RRQ, but still they managed to actually reposition themselves. But right now, INDO try to find a way to take down Prince, but on the other side, King Kong.
King Kong.
Oh, but he managed to pull away. Zaman Sabot able to take down is already right at the top, and they might still they managed to actually reposition themselves. But right now, INDO try to find a way to take down Prince, but on the other side,
langsung maju macam orang bodoh ya. Brusco langsung kena damage mati, PH menjadi tai cuy. Brusco Super Vince muter-muter. Dan kau lihat itu kiri, ngapain kiri? Ngapain kiriknya cuy? Bagus sih, tapi gak guna banget coy Hildanya di late game ini. Menurut gue draftnya RRQ ini terlalu bagus guys. Gameplaynya juga bagus sih. Bagus banget coy draft RRQ. Cash
Opportunity for RRQ Hoshi to march on again into the baseline of Fnatic Onyx.
Kirk definitely doing God's work though. That's basically the only thing that he can try to do there, slow down the middle wave. Because if he didn't manage to do that,
ini bakal gila sih guys kalau RRQ menang 2-0 guys. Bakal dibahas-bahas streamer lain coy. PH bakal digoreng-goreng di sosmed.
So dealing with wave management and making sure housekeeping is kept up is the best way to maintain the game state. Unfortunately, because Briscoe missed he did land the flicker final slash, but his team wasn't close enough to follow up, and that's the major thing.
Oh, but Suzujin is in a
Jangan
very
Suzujin.
tough
Aduh,
situation
mati
right
lah.
here, but he will be able to
Mati
take
semua
down by
cok.
King Kong. Now, Fnatic Onyx denied
Gak
immediately
bisa
two
menang
of the
coy.
players of RRQ
Belum
Hoshi
bisa,
as
belum
well,
bisa. Balik,
taking out
balik.
Vince
Balik
as
apa
well.
pun.
Even with
Mati
the
lah.
Lord itself is already
Nah,
marching
man.
into Fnatic Onyx, they don't have enough
Gila
of
PH.
resources to be
Keren,
put
keren.
out. So here on out, seems that King Kong will try to actually go in. Nope, he doesn't actually try to
Ini
go
bakal mati
into,
King Kongnya sih.
because that's not a really good position to fight out with
Nih
RRQ
guys,
Hoshi.
gua kasih tahu ya.
A bit of a
RRQ
mistake by
cara menangnya
Suzujin
gimana
there. He
guys?
definitely should have left. If he was
Simple aja cok,
counting
kayak
the
tadi
timing, he would have
dia
known that the skill 2 of Joy
ngebunuh
was already
si
ramped up and a
Sutsujinnya guys,
single
karena
hit
intinya
would
di
have
sini
been
tuh
enough to take him out.
Sutsujinnya
And
sama
if
Skylar
he's
guys.
gone, there's no way that Rins can follow up because
Kalau
the
di
Aurora just has a
pas
hard
mau
time
war
counting
dia
that
dapat
Joy.
Skylar atau
If
Sutsujin antara
I
salah
get
satu
that
itu
they
dia
were
udah
probably
pasti
trying to
bisa
split push
menang
away
war
and
sih.
maybe hold King Kong back from rejoining his
Tapi nggak
friends
boleh
so that
ditukar
maybe the rest of
satupun
RRQ
orang
could push
kecuali
in with the
Brusco
Lord
ya.
and end
Kalau
the game.
Brusco
But
nuker
because they lost two
Skylar sih bisa
members
menang
there,
sih.
King
Karena
Kong was able to get back.
support Sutsujin lah,
Fnatic was
lebih
able to
bagusnya
regroup, and the
Sutsujin sih.
Lord that RRQ had so
Kalau mau
painstakingly
menang ya.
gained for themselves amounted to really no advantage on the map at all. And the longer the game goes, the more control
Tapi
Fnatic
tetap
is
menang sih
able to
RRQ
take
ini.
for themselves. This Suyo, while still able to do
Harusnya.
a lot of DPS in the last
Tapi
few
kalau menurut
minutes,
gua Super
is pretty
Vince-nya harus
squishy
lebih
once you
aktif
get to
sih.
that stage, and Joy actually
Ngepok
starts taking
damage-nya.
over with the
Jadi
amount of
dia
anti-CC
tuh
that
takut-takut
she's
no lu
running
lihat.
around.
Harusnya di ngepok
Oh,
di Ren
agreed,
aja kan.
definitely. And this is a crucial point coming in from
Ngepok di
RRQ
Ren,
Hoshi.
skill
They
1,
have
skill
to
2,
time
skill
it right,
2,
gotta be
kabur
careful.
ya.
And it seems that Brusco
Kalau
is
sempet
gonna
skill
try
1
to
lagi buat
find a
nggak tahu
way
guys.
to break into the back line of RRQ
Rick,
Hoshi, but it's gonna be
Rick
Kurt
gak bakal
try to
mati.
initiate it, but they pull away, denying any movement coming in for Fnatic. Super Fins also just overlooking from the
Nggak,
distance,
nggak
but it's
bakal
gonna be
mati dia.
Duran who try to go in for the initiation, but doesn't manage to do it. Even with the Hailstorm, denies any movement coming in from Fnatic. Try to get that info as much as possible, but Team Fnatic Onyx is all over the place.
Yeah, neither team is gonna look to commit right there. Information is the battlefield right now. As we approach the 20-minute mark, Kirk, his job is just to stand in front, provide scouting,
King
and
Kong
see where
lama juga
RRQ
guys.
is. Briscoe, despite being on an Arlet, actually wants to
Kapan
stand
warnya
back
nih
so that
guys?
he can come in at the opportunistic time to get a flicker final slash and put RRQ out of position. The best case scenario, if they've already spent resources trying to dive into Fnatic Onyx. That mistake has already happened to them once. I highly doubt it'll happen again. It's gonna really come
Shieldnya
down
nggak
to
boleh ke
how
bawah.
well Fnatic
Ini itemnya
Onyx
cuy.
can control the map and split
Skylar udah
apart the
lengkap
members
Jira
so
item
that they get
sama
a false
Bruce
sense of
si siapa tuh
security that
Kiara
maybe
juga
they
udah
can
lengkap
start a
sih.
fight.
Oh, agree, definitely. I mean, looking on the side right now, they are great in positioning wise. The RRQ not allowing any of the backline comes in. Even Fnatic also not giving any of the space to come through. But here on out, we do see Dirin going for initiation again. Everyone comes through. Brusco right on the pick, but doesn't manage to connect the dot as quickly as possible. And Fnatic Onyx pull away as quickly. And now,
Cepat lah, udah mau habis baterai gue cok.
they want to get the slot immediately done.
Nggak.
They're gonna try and control the
suaranya
North
anjir.
pit right now. Fnatic Onyx
Suara
right on
game
the
hilang anjir.
edge. And the fight starts
Kiara
again.
ngapain cok?
The fight starts again. Kara will be picked out immediately by Dylan.
Kiara ngapa mati anjir?
Pull away as quickly. And now,
Ngapain dia, Cok?
Team RRQ Hoshi, they want to get the slot immediately done.
Klik.
They're gonna try and control
Kiara
the
ke
North pit right
sono
now.
ada
Fnatic Onyx right on
Popeus.
the edge. And the fight starts
Langsung
again.
kena
The
biji-bijian
fight starts
Skylar.
again. Kara will
Mati
be picked out
guys.
immediately by Diren. By the same time, that Zaman Force will deny of the
Brusco
movement,
juga
but he'll be able to
nyelamatin
take down Brusco as
Kiaranya.
well, pushing into King Kong. Diren going in for the power for the fight off the side of King Kong, but
Wah,
doesn't manage to
salah
control. But
banget
Super
sih
Prince
PH.
wins back take out. Overextension come through,
Ini
but
mati sih,
Sustagen will
tapi
be able to take
dia
down by
bisa
King Kong.
ngelos
But
sih.
now,
4
Team
versus
RRQ,
3.
they
Kenapa
want
lu
more.
lewat
They're gonna
kanan
try to push
situ?
into Super Prince. Going in with the
Kenapa
Hailstorm,
lu lewat
doesn't
kanan
connect the
situ?
dot. Skylar
Mati
trying
dong.
to push away, slowing it down
Kan
for
gue
the
bilang
moment.
jangan lewat
Hailstorm again,
kanan
and managed to
anjir.
take down
Ngapain
Super
cok?
Prince immediately. And now
Ngomong
leaving
ngapain
two more
ngomong?
players to go. King Kong right in the open. They're
Mati
looking for
cok
a
King
way.
Kongnya. Kenapa
Karin
guys?
try to slow him down. Goes in for the
Loncat loh.
slash. Doesn't manage to slow him down. And Team
Ada
RRQ
ulti anjir, kenapa
Hoshi
ngeloncat?
just try to do as much damage as they could, but they
2
want to finish this
orang.
off already. Kurt comes in
End
for
sini.
in the fight in
End
between.
bro,
He
bro.
tried to survive it,
RRQ
but
guys.
Prince takes him down, and now one more play to go.
Kelas.
Goes in for the team wipe out, and this is the end. Hoshi wins the series with 2-0.
Such a good example of taking advantage
Fill me out with your smile.
INDO
All the
Vs
sunshine brings the
Ini
light.
adalah era Indo.
Fill me out with a flame. I will let you win this game. Take me out when I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound.
Have them
PH.
Matilda, Suyo, and
Kita lihat
Arif on their
MVP-nya aja.
side. I think Super Friends actually played a
Skylar MVP
very
cok.
good understanding
GG
of
banget.
what this
2
meta
kali
is.
Skylar
They
MVP
already
guys.
knew that it was probably more suited for the Indonesian style of
Gila sih RRQ
play,
guys.
but they've also kind of adapted
Udah kayak gini
a
PH
bit
udah
of
nggak jadi
that
masalah lagi sih di
traditional
MC
PH
guys.
macro into their
Aman sih
toolset as
harusnya.
well, and it's just a very oppressive experience.
Agree, definitely.
Oke
I think
guys, sekian
pretty
dulu
much on the fine line of the drafting
record
wise.
kita kali ini. Jangan lupa subscribe guys, dan like-nya juga. Sekian streaming dari gue. Sorry kalau ada salah-salah guys. Dan selamat untuk RRQ ya guys ya, karena sudah memenangkan melawan Fnatic Onyx, dan dipastikan bahwa di grand final itu hanya ada dua dari region yang sama, yaitu dari Indo semua cuy. PH nggak bakal ngapa-ngapain cuy, nggak bisa apa-apa PH kayaknya ya.